66 post. My name's John Kinder. I was an observer here on this post for 9 years, up until the stand down in 1991. Today I'm going to show you around the post and give you an idea of some of the activities that went on here. We'll start with the locks. The locks on the post were very important, for the simple reason if you didn't lock the locks back onto the hasp, then there was a good chance that somebody may come along and actually lock you in the post. So whoever unlocked the post had to always make sure the locks were relocked back onto the hasp. Once the locks are undone, you can open the lid to the shaft and a quick visual inspection just to make sure there's no flooding. Once inside the post, various pieces of equipment that were stored here could be raised to the surface. One piece of equipment was the ground zero indicator, the GZI, which was basically the pinhole camera which would detect the bomb bursts, whether they were air bursts or ground bursts. It would fasten onto its flange using 3 bolts which were offset to ensure that it would only go into one position. It was held on by 3 conical nuts which would be hand tightened upon the setting up of the post. Once in position, the lid would be removed. Once removed, the photographic paper could be put into the slots for the north, south, east and west. The lid would then be put back on and the equipment was ready for use. 2 more pieces of equipment which we don't have access to would have gone here. The first one being the fixed survey meter dome, which would have been put on in place of this flange. This dome would have allowed the fixed survey meter probe to sit inside it. The second would have been the bomb pressure indicator baffle, which would have gone here, which is basically 2 discs of metal, and this nut would be removed and that would be set on. The post would then be operational. In the monitoring room, power was supplied by a 12-volt battery which was set here. This would be charged up once a month using a petrol generator. The light switch over here with the timer on it so it couldn't accidentally be left on. Equipment inside the post would have comprised of your fixed survey meter, which would have gone here into this hole that's been cut into the worktop. Your teletalk, which was your communication to Lincoln 66 post. This was maintained by BT. This was the chemical toilet, which had to be emptied if used. If any flooding had taken place, then you had to use the hand-operated pump to empty the sump. Unfortunately, this one seems to have seized up with time. The store cupboard would contain all the essentials that you needed. Spare papers for the GZI, spare lamps for the lighting, and of course Glitto with bleach. There would be a bunk bed here so that 2 observers could sleep while the 3rd observer was actually using the equipment. The fixed survey meter probe would have gone into this pipe here up into the surface. Over here you've got the bomb pressure indicator, or your BPI, which would measure the pressure of the bomb that was falling. This was connected to this tube. It was reset by a button underneath, and it had a drain cap which always had to be left off when you left the post. Observers would wear a personal dose rate meter, a PDRM. This would be clipped to their tunic. It would indicate how much radiation they would be absorbing and could be read by looking through it rather like a telescope. Over here was the WB 1401, which was the warning broadcast speaker system from the government. Upon hearing attack warning red Lincoln 43, that meant that an air attack in your area or district was imminent. At that point you would have to sound the alert. Number 3 observer would have then come up the shaft, and it was his job to sound the air attack was imminent using the hand operated siren. Once he'd sounded the siren, he would lay the siren on its side and hastily make his way back down into the monitoring room, closing the lid behind him and all air vents.